to talk about a 4-foot tall on delivery plant that comes to you. So Phillip is showing you what it's going to look like when it comes to you.
And
huge blooms.
Yes.
This hydrangea tree can mature to 12 feet. Huge blooms all summer long, year after year. This is a perennial. We love hydrangeas. They are some of the toughest and most dramatic hydrangeas that we have for offer this season.
Indeed.
And you can bring this home. This is already 4 feet tall when it comes to you, $152.98. I know you're looking at that price and you're thinking, well, Rachel, their last price was in the $40 range. This hydrangea has a potential lifespan of 80 years.
That's correct.
80 years.
And I'm telling you, this is the largest plant in the largest pot to ever be shipped from QVC. I've been here 30 years, and usually these hydrangeas ship out in a 1-gallon pot.
Right.
This is shipping out in a 3-gallon pot. And if you go around to the nurseries and you price them out, I'm telling you, it'll ring your bell and you won't want to hear it.
Yes.
But also, this is 4 feet tall upon delivery. It will not fit in your car. It's being delivered to your door.
Correct,
and
right
this
to
is
your
the way
door.
it comes to you in a nice 3-gallon pot, already 4 feet tall. It's going to bloom like crazy this year. Now, they usually ship out in this size pot.
Okay.
That's typical, and those will grow fine. This is already a year and a half ahead of what this one would be. Go big or go home. And I love these, and the reason they call this limelight is because when the blooms come out, they're lime colored in the beginning, and then for most of the summer, the football-sized white blossoms that you can see from a distance, because this will be 12 feet tall. By the way, this is going to be 6 or 7 feet tall this year. That's what you're going to get this year.
So
you're going to have a lot of blooms.
This one that we have right here, is this a one season?
This is next season.
Next season.
Next season,
Amazing.
because it gets a woodier trunk, but yours is already going to be this tall.
Okay.
Like this. And then toward August, you start to get the pink colors in it because it's color morphing, lime to white to pink. And that's all summer long. So you're thinking about all of the flowering trees that are going on in the springtime right now. Think about all the flowering trees that are going on in the summer.
Yes.
None.
Right. Right.
This is it. If you want to have interest that is high as it is in the spring, this is what you want for the summer. It's the limelight hydrangea. These are drought tolerant, they're long-lived, and it's very durable because once they get established, they are there for decades and decades. People have been buying them in pairs to go on either side of their houses.
Blame them. Yes.
Because it's so dramatic looking.
Growing up, we had a whole side of our house between the neighbors had hydrangea bushes and the trees, and it was so gorgeous. I have such great memories with hydrangeas because we would cut them and put them inside, and you have them throughout the whole season.
Particularly if you dry the blossoms. You can dry the blossoms and make wreaths out of them. The arrangements will last forever.
Oh. And there was originally a strawberry vanilla color. That has sold out because this has been very popular. The limelight, however, I think personally is the best of both worlds because it starts with those gorgeous lime colors. It's going to have whites and even those pinks. Look at that, Phillip.
The biggest blooms.
Is that in your yard?
That's in my yard. Of all hydrangeas, these have the biggest blooms. They are enormous, and they dry beautifully, and they hold together. If you've got a pair to go on either side of your door or on either side of your house, either side of your driveway, it's just something that's going to be beautiful all summer long. And as I mentioned, once it gets established, it's there. Now, in my own garden, I don't cut the old blooms off in the fall. You know why? Because when wintertime comes and we get some snow, it hangs up in the blooms, and it's just beautiful. We had an image that disappeared that I was leading up to, but I don't know where that went.
Oh, no.
Okay, all right.
We'll try to find
my
it if we
segue
can.
just kind of skipped a beat.
We'll picture it in our minds.
Oh, no, it's coming. It's
here
coming.
it is.
They heard me. Look.
Look at this.
That is how the snow gets on the blooms in the wintertime. So it has got a great, great look in the wintertime. And then about this time of year is when I cut the old blooms off, and then the new foliage is coming out, and you can have tons of blooms. But see, you can see how many blooms is on just the dried ones. That's still really beautiful.
Yes. And this is going to be great for hardiness zones 3 through 9 is the note that I have, but you could
Yes.
also do container gardening with these.
I prefer them in the ground
Okay.
because they're so big.
Great.
They're best in the ground. They do need a frost, so these will grow in the coldest areas of the country. If you live in an area that is frost-free, like parts of California and parts of Florida, they're not for you. They have to have the frost to set the bloom. But this will be the toughest hydrangea you've ever had. The regular hydrangeas, when it gets dry, they start to wilt, and then it's like, yeah. These do not do that. And to make sure that mine always look good and vigorous, I
Yes.
fertilize mine once a month
Okay.
with my time release fertilizer.
Great.
And it's a good time release. The nice thing about time release fertilizer, if you forget to fertilize, it's still got some money in the bank.
Yes,
so to speak.
exactly.
So it puts it out there and it'll forgive you.
Yes.
So
As a reminder, this is what is shipping to you. And
Yes.
this is the biggest pot and plant to ever ship from QVC.
yes.
You will have this for decades. It can live up to 80 years. And once it's matured, it can be up to 12 feet in height. Blooms all summer long, a
Yes.
perennial, so year after year.
Year after year, and you're just going to love this because it's durable. If you're planting a commemorative tree,
Yes.
don't go with a dogwood or a redbud. You're looking at 15 to 18 years there. Put in something that's going to last a really long time. I love those, but those are spring flowering also. I want something that blooms all summer when you're outside enjoying yourself.
Yes.
Everybody else has got their annuals and perennials that are at best knee high. This is 12 feet tall. Plant this behind your annuals and perennials to make it just extravagant.
$152.98 today, or an easy pay of $30.60 for the next 5 months, which is when you're going to have this and
Yes.
be enjoying this. And then you're essentially giving a gift to your family and your children and your grandchildren.
Indeed.
And anyone who's going to be taking your home, your landscaping, your gardening and enjoying it, because this is going to be here with you for decades.
And if you've had these in shrub form, you know they do get also large in shrub form. The nice thing about a tree form, you can see the trunk.
Yes.
You can plant other things underneath it. You can plant your sun patience underneath it. So if you've got a small garden, this will work beautifully in your small garden because you've got that other area to work with. You
Below.
can have a low bird bath underneath it and just make this
Beautiful.
the crowning glory in your patio garden.
And Philip, tell us one more time about the color change.
Yes, well, the blooms start off lime colored and then they go white and then they get enormous, like football shaped blooms, and then turn in August they start to turn pale pink and then a darker pink. You can dry them at all those different stages, but just a great look all summer long. When everybody else has got the knee-high interest, you've got something that's 12 feet tall.
I love it.
Yes.
$152.98, a perennial. This does need frost area. It needs
Yes.
to take a little hibernation during winter. So zones 3 through 9 is what it will be best for. That colorful bloom, and you're going to really have that shift of color.